All right, I'm back. You guys can probably call me Pitch Factory for a second. We're waiting to get into the finals here. It'll be a best of three, rocking out between Pays Evelynn Child Support and Feel the Vibe. Neither team is going to be a stranger to these finals here. Both teams very strong and have been for a little while now. I am your caster, Skillfactory. Catch me on Twitter at SkillFactoryLOL. My co-caster will be About74Babies. You can catch him on Twitter at About74Babies. If you guys like the tournaments, make sure you tune in. Generally every Saturday night you will see this tournament, but subscribe and follow to this channel because they have more content throughout the week, and you can catch all kinds of Dominion content. They also just launched Dominate TT at their new web portal, DominateDominion.com. It is a 3v3 tournament for the Twisted Tree line, hence the TT. And check out the site. The first one that will be played is on March 16th. If you guys need brackets, I'll drop them in the chat for you right now so you can keep up on what has happened on this Dominate Mini number 44. Powered and supported with partnership on Mobifier. I also cast on Tuesdays and Thursdays for Pentacast. You can catch us at Twitch TV/Pentacast Productions. And their Twitter is at Pentacast_LOL. We do Riot versus Community, and we also do Community Game Night every Wednesday and then Tuesday for Community Game Night. You can catch us at 8 p.m. Central and 11 Eastern Time. Pretty late, but you have to wait for the riders to get out of work. Because on Wednesday night, you can play versus the people who make this game. And there's some pretty big names that come. Riot Tizza, who's an esports manager. We have a lot of the tech guys come in there. Sometimes we have Miss Pudding come join us. So it's a really good time. And come and check us out. He's adding more coal to his computer. It shouldn't be long now. TT, yes, Twisted Tree Line. It's 3v3, so you will have the rankings through Riot as well as the tournaments coming through DominateTT.com. Should be pretty excellent. Make sure you guys check it out. It is something brand new. The site's kind of laid out very similar to DominateDominion, just dedicated toward Twisted Tree Line. And it looks like we're going to have Pays Evelynn Child Support is going to be on the blue team first. And we'll switch up the overlay a little bit. Sorry, not the overlay. Switch up my my notes over here so I can make sure I don't mix up the teams too much. I don't know everybody by name yet, but
is this a best of three or?
Yes, this is going to be a best of three. It will be the finals, wrapping up this tournament. We'll see if we can bring it to a game 3. Generally, if Pays Evelynn Child Support wins the first game, they win the second game as well. So I don't think I've seen them lose a game 2 yet. But I think I've seen them lose one game 1. So if you take the game 1, you can change up your strat, and you have 2 more chances to take down Pays Evelynn Child Support. But they have been really, really strong in these last couple tournaments.
Yeah, so when we're waiting, what do you expect to see for picks and bans this time?
There might be a target ban onto Half-Hearted's Brand. He's very strong in Brand. There also might be a target ban onto Vayne, I believe. No, Buddha Rice is not here. Buddha Rice plays a very strong Vayne, but it looks like they're going to have Zabers instead. Confitarius plays a lot of Syndra, which he rocks down in the bottom lane there. And we'll see if they target ban that. Syndra's played a lot, but they usually don't target ban it. It's very strong, similar to the Brand, where she ends up being the focus for the fight, but the rest of their team kind of steamrolls you while you're waiting.
And looks like we got half in the lobby, and I'm guessing we're going to be doing chat bans pretty soon here.
Yeah, we'll be rocking out. I'll let them know to chat ban when ready. I think they're waiting for the stream to be on, but the stream is on. Ban barnacles.
And I'm wondering if the team was looking at the last game, and I'm wondering if they'll ban something along the lines of Urgot or Brand.
Yeah, the Urgot and Brand were very strong. I think the Ezreal was a big key to that fight there. He pretty much forced Leona to go way too deep for him over and over again, and was able to 1v1 Leona. And even though they took him out of the fight, it still reduced them to a 1v1 with the Leona and Ezreal, and then the other 3v3 ensued, which they ended up winning. So then they still didn't kill the Ezreal, and they ended up way ahead on those.
Yeah, and the one thing I don't really like about Leona on Dominion is to really play her to her full effect, she has to be in the middle of the whole team. And when you go deep like that, you're probably going to get taken down very quickly.
Yeah, the first Lulu we saw earlier this night didn't run a very tanky Lulu. It is going to be banned out, but like Leona going very deep is just one of those things you have to do. As long as your Eclipse is up, you're fine, but as soon as that drops off, you just lose all that extra strength. And the chat bans are done. I'll get them in chat for you in just a second.
Ooh, Timo Kha'Zix. Timo.
It's Khazix. I always forget that.
Now, are you surprised by that Timo ban, or...?
No, Timo is he's really strong. Without having wards on the map, he enables your team to control that little fruit stand area with the two small bushes there. And when he's able to control that, you see people come into the bush, he'll get a Laundry's Torment and just burn away your HP. And when he does that, it puts you at a big disadvantage when you go to engage. Even if the Timo Shuns are gone, their effect has already been there. They've already slowed you. They've already revealed where you are. They can reveal multiple people at once, unlike the other traps in the game. And he just ends up being very strong. On top of that, he has a blind. So if you dive in with one of your bruisers, you have to wait out that blind damage, which means there's more time for them to peel off of him, more time for Move Quick to come back up, and for him to drop shrooms right at your feet.
By the way, don't forget your overlays for the summer's spells.
I do have them ready, just a click of a button. I actually hadn't brought up the rest of the bands, which are going to be Darius, Nidalee, Wukong, Amumu, Urgot, and we have one more band coming out here. Evelynn. Evelynn definitely being a target band there. I guess they didn't want the Evelynn. We've seen the Evelynn come out from Evelynn Child Support. And she's like a mobile ward. She's always moving back and forth. One of the few champions you'll see get those boots of mobility there and roam around the map very, very effectively. Ganking bottom, moving top, ganking top, and really kind of changing the pace of the game because you can't control her in the jungle.
And it looks like we're going to be getting the Annie and Garen over here for the red team. And those are two strong picks that we did see last game.
Yeah, they're played very, very well. The Garen was played very well. It looks like they're going to switch it now. Like I said, you'll see that those mind games, a little psychological game coming out here. But Infeed went right for the Jayce, didn't waste any time. He wanted that handsome fellow. We've seen Jayce with the acceleration gate and the shock blast do really good work and whittle the team down. And then as soon as somebody gets low, he goes hammer form to the skies and drops the hammer on them.
Yes, and that Jarvan pick, we did see it earlier. Can't go wrong, really.
Yeah, he's good for initiating and he's good for peeling. You know, if he jumps into a fight and then the Leona gets past him or the Jayce gets past him to kill their squishies, he can always cataclysm back out of the fight and force the person who tried to get that squishy to just eat the damage as they're zoned from the cataclysm there. The Dunkmaster is banned. Yes, he is.
I don't know, because I see Dunkmaster being picked right now, which is Jarvan.
Jarvan also a very good basketball player. He doesn't have the guillotine, but he definitely dunks people. But I think Vi is actually a little bit better of a basketball player. I like her ult, and she actually says dunked in her animation when she actually slams people down.
Does she?
Yes, she does.
That's
Why
very
is
interesting.
Annie picked on this? Annie is a very strong AP champion. She has a high amount of CC. You will see typically a Blackfire Torch on her. And with her chain, she's very tanky now. 10-second cooldown on her armor and MR shield, which also works as a Thorn Mail. So she's been picked quite often, along with the Vi, which we don't see out this time. But we do have the two big CC champions coming out there, the Zyra and the Maokai pick.
The two plants.
Yes, they're going to get that secret passive, where Maokai's going to get crazy strong as soon as he gets some seeds out by his feet.
Yes, and did you know that Maokai sorts his seeds in his mouth?
Yeah, I guess he throws them up on people, similar to like a Kog'Maw type thing.
I don't know. Is it a hidden passive between the two?
I think there is some type of hidden passive where they both gain like 1 ability power or health regen. Something like that. I cannot remember. I never keep up with these hidden passives.
Well, we'll see if Jarvan has his commando skin on. He'll be taking 1 less damage from Leona's abilities.
Yes, 1 less damage because you put on those sunglasses. As long as you have sunglasses, you're taking a little bit less damage from Leona. And there's that Syndra pick. Syndra and Ezreal are going to be rounding out Evelynn Child Support, or also known as PEX. Because Evelynn Child Support is a mouthful. But Ezreal, very good pick. We've seen him do well so far, getting that Iceborne Gauntlet, being a kiting machine with those Mystic shots, and then the Syndra pick. Confitarius, pretty much one of the only people I've seen play Syndra, but does very well at it. Does a great job landing the stuns and chunking people down. Her ultimate is very, very strong. If you're good at Syndra, you can get extra orbs on the ground when you pop that ultimate to really put strong damage out on there.
I'm really excited to see the Syndra pick because I don't see her played much, and I do like it when I see it because most people that play her are very good with her.
Yeah, she's kind of one of those niche champions where she does a good job if you can play her. She's one of those high skill cap champions. Similar to like an Orianna, where if you're not good at positioning perfectly and positioning your spells to kind of bait people into them, then you have a really hard time on her. There is a delay. We're actually just waiting on the end of the champ select as they change up their summoners usually at the very last second. And now we have the 3-minute delay period where we hang out.
And everyone taking out that revive.
Yeah, interesting to see the Ignite actually coming out onto Ezreal this time. We have a flash onto Syndra. But other than that, it'll be the exhaust garrisons across the board. A barrier coming out on Jayce, which you don't see very often either. Sauron, though, running the CV. They always have one person run that CV onto Feel the Vibe. And without wards, CV goes a really long way. Especially with the improved CV where you can, as you see them, you reveal their location for a little bit while after the CV is dropped off.
Yes, and that Kayle is not a new pick to us. We've been seeing it picked pretty much for all the games that we've been playing.
Yeah, the Kayle being a very, very often picked champion. Typically played AP, but we did see an AD Kayle earlier run Cleanse versus a team that didn't even have an exhaust. Another champion we see played a lot is the Annie. Annie's been in almost every game tonight and done a very good job. I think we had one Annie go 9-2 and 14 or something like that, which is really, really strong.
Yes, and without Annie on one team, look at all the damage you got on the other team. They will be able to get her out of the fights pretty fast if they need to.
Yeah, and it's going to be an issue. If Confitarius moves up, they have 2 AP carries to worry about. Both of them strong with the AoE. Both of them very good at AoE CC as well. I mean, if Syndra ults or gets 2 orbs in the ground, that she can stun everybody in line of sight as long as she has her, what is it, Force Push, I think it's called? I can't remember the name of her. Scatter the Weak. Scatter the Weak. Force the Will is her W. So if she has her Scatter the Weak lined up correctly, then she can stun multiple targets as long as they're in the right position.
Yes, and now looking at the blue team, they have 2 casters, and their 2 tanks aren't even like they are, but they're not as tanky as they could be. So we might see that bite them later.
Yeah, they have a good amount of CC, and I think they're going to be able to lock down champions a little bit better. There really isn't a strong front line for Peasel and Child Support coming out here. Feel the Vibe has a much stronger front line, I feel, with the Maokai, with the Jarvan. The Kayle intervention is going to play a big part in being strong there, because if they do jump onto the Zyra or try to kill the Talon after his ult is down, then they're going to be able to buy a little bit more time, and we'll see if they can get in there and nuke the Ezreal or Annie, which is what they're going to need to do top lane.
Yep, and looks like we're going to be getting into this game here. 2 seconds left.
Now, if you guys are just joining us, this is Dominate Dominion number 44. We have Feel the Vibe versus Peasel and Child Support Game 1. It will be a best of 3. If you like Dominate Dominion, make sure you check out DominateTT.com. 3v3 tournaments to come up. The first one is March 16th. I am Skillfactory. Get me at SkillFactoryLOL. Casting with me here is About74Babies. You can get him at About74Babies on Twitter. If you do want to get him for more casting goodness. On our blue team, we have Infeed on Jayce, Zabers on Ezreal, Painkiller on Leona, Booberry on Frostfire Annie, and Confitarius on that Syndra. What do we have for the red/purple team?
Well, on the red/purple team, we got Sauron on Kayle, Dynov on Jarvan 4, NyX87 on Talon, A12Mo12 on Maokai, and Half-Hearted on Zyra.
Yeah, and like I said earlier, I think the CC is going to be able to win out this game. And I'd love to see it go to a Game 3, but, you know, Peasel and Child Support knows what they're doing. They definitely have a very good handle on the meta, and they have very good team synergy. You won't see any missed engagements, many missed engagements there, and they're usually very solid when they're jumping in to commit to a fight. It's usually all or nothing, and when they do commit, they at least come out almost an even trade.
Yes, and that was relatively fast for having half in this game for loading, so we're going to be getting in.
He added more coal to his computer, is what they were saying earlier.
Or maybe he shoveled out the ashes.
Clean the flue on his computer so the exhaust is flowing freely now.
Alright,
okay.
so...
No more bad computer jokes for him. Starting items fairly solid, mostly prospectors. We do see that Kindle gem on Leona one more time. Jayce hasn't picked up anything yet, neither has Maokai. Zyra going right for the percent damage burn. Going for that Haunting Guys, get that Leandre's Torment, get the percent damage out. And Maokai is going to go with the same build as Leona there.
Yeah, and looks like in this bottom lane we're going to have Talon versus Syndra. And that will surely be a good matchup to watch.
Yeah, it'll be pretty interesting. Talon's really going to have to time his Cutthroat to kind of get in there and make sure that he's dodging abilities when he uses it. Ladies and gentlemen, we're in the game. This is going to be Game 1, Peasel and Child Support versus Feel the Vibe. And I hope you guys are ready for a great best of 3, because this is the finals.
Yes, it is, and looks like we're going to have Jarvan and Leona picking up their middle points, and what we see an early engagement right here on the windmill.
I don't think they want to engage without that Leona there. I think she's going to be the engagement for them. They're going to do some poking with Infeed here, but now that they're both here, Dynov running straight in, dropping a little bit of damage. Armor actually getting passed up by Painkiller. Painkiller running in there, doing a good amount of damage, but taking a lot of hate at the same time. Jarvan, a great airborne on 4 people right there. He is going to get knocked up, inexhausted, but Booberry in a lot of trouble. Jarvan going down. Painkiller's going to go down. And Armor now almost dead, but Half-Hearted starting to zone them back. Infeed going to try to get one more kill there. The CV coming down onto Infeed. Half-Hearted easily able to zone them 1v1. A great shock blast from Infeed, picking it up on that Debonair Jayce. A brand new skin coming out for you guys. But here comes the revived Dynov. He gets the airborne there. He's going to get the slow. The hammer to the skies. He's probably going to go down to this Jarvan. He's zoning him back as best he can. But meanwhile, Kayle is kind of left to her own means. 8th wing Kayle does not mean that you can kill anybody you want. All the revives being busted out up top here for anybody that's died. They really want this first point. Ignite coming down on Dynov. A stun coming out, but Blueberry misses the AoE. Still has enough to kill her with a single target auto attack after that. And a continuous engagement up top here, which seems to be going in Blue's favor right now.
Now looking at the bottom lane, Syndra shoving this lane very hard against Nyx, and looks like he's having some issues down there.
Yeah,
he's going to get Syndra ulted.
Top lane is almost there. It does look like they're going to trade kills down in the bottom lane. Meanwhile, top lane, Painkiller actually missing the Zenith Blade to get in there. And Blueberry very low. Armor picking up 1 kill. Half-Hearted grabbing another with a plant. Armor going to try to cap this, but now Ezreal has a revive coming up. Going to be able to take down Armor here. And is going to jump in on Sauron. No, he drops out the ult. He missed the ult and his Mystic Shot. Half-Hearted is 1v1ing him now. And Sauron's going to try to get out of there. A knock-up from Zyra. She has the passive. He's out of range, but Jarvan's going to get the kill and try to get this point. He's finally going to get it, and that was a crazy fight up top to start this game off from Feel the Vibe.
Yes, and now looking, I wish I knew that Maokai's name actually was Armor, not A12, MOL12. Now I do not feel like the smartest guy around.
I did the same thing the first time I casted, and I was like, A12, Mo12. Obviously A12, Mo12. And they're like, no, it's Armor. Cut it out. It's Armor. Those are the elite R's with the 1-2 there.
Yeah, and Talon going on to Syndra. Will he be able to take her down? Kayle is here to help out, and she will secure that kill.
Oops, I actually dropped my thing on the keyboard there. Syndra's going to go down. They are collapsing on this top point. Dynov's going to be the first one there. He's going to try to use the standard to get in there. Nope, he actually just goes ahead and Dragon Strikes to slow them down. Defensive Garrison coming out. Very good job there to stop the cap at this point. Dynov running around in circles, coming back in. He's going to get the Cataclysm down on Blueberry. Going to get stunned. Leona picking up that kill with a Solar Flare, but here comes Half-Hearted to bring in some more AP damage as they defend this with another defensive Garrison. Painkiller in a lot of trouble. Very low. Infeed also very low. Armor going to go with the Twisted Advance, but it was a little too soon. Kayle, the intervention. Barely in time to save him there, and I don't think they're going to get this point for Feel the Vibe.
No, Ezreal trying to get that Mystic Shot off to pick one of them up, but doesn't look like he'll be able to make them meet.
Yeah, there are no rules, Frozen Blood, if you're asking. Just the typical Dominion rules. Whatever allows you to do, you can do. Obviously, there's no Boots of Mobility, and there are different items. There's no Zonias. It's Wugut's Witch Cap and things like that. But there are no special rules to this tournament except for the fact that there are 4 bans prior to getting into the game.
Yes, and in this bottom lane, Syndra still pushing out Talon. Not looking like she wants to let up anytime soon.
And meanwhile, up top, Jayce getting in a little too close. They caught Painkiller. Jayce came in to help, but ended up being the target right away. Half-Hearted dropping the plants down. Painkiller very low and able to get out of there, but Annie will go down. Ezreal going over the wall, and Sauron's going to try to cut them off. There's a standard trying to get the damage on the Painkiller. He's going to go down to Kayle right there. A great job by Kayle with a Reckoning, and Ezreal just trying to slow them down from capping this point now as they're trying to take their 4th point.
Yeah, and Sauron's been making a huge difference these past few games. Really been showing his strength and versatility on different champions.
Yeah, very strong player all around. That Urgot, and now on the Kayle. There's the Stranglethorn knocking up Blueberry. One more attack, he goes down. The intervention's back up, but not enough to keep him alive as Dynov runs away. He's going to recall right there. Armor jumping in. The Arcane Shift a little early. Maokai almost able to take that out, but he does walk away in good timing, too, because they had a Leona jumping in there with a Zenith Blade, and they're just going to zone them back. They went with neutral on that tower, giving them a little bit more of an advantage.
Yeah, now, once we have short downtime, let's look at the item builds. We got 2 people on the red team picking up the Brutalizer, and same with on the blue team. They both have 2 Brutalizers also.
Oh, again coming down bottom here. Darius flashing out, unable to get out of there, drops the ult down, not enough damage. Sauron dropping that nuke slow on top of her, and not much she could do about it.
No, with that early magic penetration, she's going to be doing a lot of damage to those early game champions.
Yeah, most definitely. We have Infeed jumping on Dynov now, but taking a lot of damage from Half-Hearted over the wall there. Ooh, not a good Dragon Strike as they went down. Timber's coming down, Ezreal chasing onto Dynov here. He misses again with a True Shot Barrage, and now he's caught way out of position. Kayle doing work onto him. One more auto attack. No, he gets over the wall, and it looks like Kayle's going to have to try to get further in to try to get him down. There it is, the auto attack that needed to KO that Ezreal. And it was a mistake there where the positioning was not what they wanted. They didn't have Painkiller out front because he wasn't back up yet, so they just ran in onto them, and Sauron's doing so much damage with that Reckoning. He's actually rocking, 356 damage right now with one Reckoning.
Oh, that is a lot. And notice Syndra pushing again onto Talon in this bottom lane, and none of them have been leaving for those small fights up top just because they don't want to lose their points on those bot lanes.
Yeah, it looks like we might see another Kayle gank down bottom. Syndra is going back. She might sense it with her 6th sense. And Kayle, seeing that, is going to grab the speed shrine and go back up top. Blueberry also coming down bottom to look for an advantage onto Talon, but not seeing anything.
Yeah, it looks like Jayce is going to try to defend Half-Hearted from taking that Storm Shield, because that surely does do a lot. It looks like Kayle's going to be picking that up for herself, and looks like we might see a fight soon.
Yeah, they're kind of posturing around this jungle here. It's kind of in the hands of Feel the Vibe right now. Dynov's going to try to jump back in, do some damage here. Zaber's running out. A good Cataclysm there, getting knocked out of it, but the Jayce getting just neutralized right there. Ezreal being very low, trying to poke in. Annie's the next target. Kayle picking up that kill. We have the Talon coming down at them. See, he's going to get stunned right here. Pops the ult before the stun lands. Ooh, a Grasping Root just barely missing on Darius, and that would have been the end of Syndra.
Yeah, and Syndra, although she is very low, she does have that ultimate up, so if someone was to come at her, she could go down.
And look at the minions working this refinery down, neutralizing that point once again. And they have 250 points left on the blue team here. And right now, Feel the Vibe can keep this momentum. They're going to take the first game against Evelynn Child Support.
Yes, and another fight coming down on top.
Yep, the fight's coming back on top. Darius is there this time, forced to ult Sona, but ult Kayle, but the intervention stopped it right there. The Maokai ult coming down, infeed going down right away. Their damage is lacking as 3 people are chasing 2 out of here. A good airborne. Zaber's going to go down here. Double kill for Maokai. Oh, a great Twisted Advance at the very steps of their fountain. They're going to be able to grab this refinery. The revives have just seconds ticking off of them, but not ready in time. Meanwhile, down bottom, Annie getting nuked by the Talon. Syndra is a matchup for Talon, but Annie is having issues. Up top, Zaber's taking a lot more damage from Half-Hearted here. The plant's doing good work. It looks like they're going to just kind of back off. They're going to leave this point because their minions have now neutralized the windmill. So they're going to send one person up there, and Half-Hearted in a bad spot as Painkiller and Darius take her out.
Yeah, and looks like we're going to have some downtime here. Kayle's going to pick up the windmill all by herself. No defense at all.
Yeah, the minions are actually doing the work up top there. The minions already neutralized 2 points in this game from full to 0. Here comes Painkiller. Kayle putting a little bit of damage in there. The ult coming out from Maokai. He's going to stop it as Jarvan comes in into Darius. A good ult coming out from Leona, but no. Jarvan Cataclysms out of it. Sauron going invulnerable versus that Annie. Infeed in a little bit of trouble now. But Painkiller doing a great job at trying to CC and work that front line there. Jarvan turning around on Dynov. He is not going to... Oh, they did go back in. A great Twisted Advance over the wall. Blueberry's going to go down as well as Annie. On Annie there. Jayce is going to also go down. He's going to grab the Health Relic, come back in with a Dragon Strike, and pick up that 3-for-1 exchange.
Now, that was a very good fight to re-engage like that. They saw they would be able to pick up those kills, and they went straight for it.
Yeah, Jarvan running the Lantern there. We have Hextech Sweeper on Leona to try to see out those bushes before they run in and commit on them.
And that teamwork really showing from the purple team this game.
Definitely. Armor coming in. Defensive Garrison is down. He's going to jump on infeed. Tibbers is still there, but not really doing much right now. Another defensive Garrison, I think, coming out there. The point is now neutralized. Armor not having enough armor whatsoever. Syndra picking up that kill. It is going to be Ezreal dying bottom to Talon as this all goes on. The invulnerability coming up. A great Stranglethorn coming down. Blueberry in a little bit of trouble as Jarvan comes in with his revive. And Blueberry's going to go down to Jarvan in just a second if he can land his standard. There it is with the Dragon Strike instead. And grabbing a plant on Darius, but it's not going to matter because Armor also had revive and is back up in the top lane to take this windmill back.
Yes, and they're going to have the 3-2 win. Blue team getting down to 100 points.
Yeah, they're coming ahead a lot now. They have to win by caps now. The kills will not give them points anymore, so they have to get the caps. But they're controlling 3 points as they have for pretty much this whole game, and they've also been able to neutralize the 4th point. Whenever they send anybody but Syndra down bottom, Talon is able to nuke them and take them out whenever he has his ult up.
And in the middle, they're both seeing each other, going to get those storm shields, try to defend themselves and hold out and see if they can turn this one around, which looks very unlikely right now.
And it looks like Syndra picked up the plant, but didn't really do much with it. And they're trying to defend this here, but Jarvan's coming down. He doesn't get a decent engagement, but he does have Cataclysm up. Infeed in a lot of trouble, dying right away. Talon is in there with his ult up as well. Dynov getting the invulnerability. A Stranglethorn whiffing on pretty much the whole team. Nobody going airborne, but the damage still coming out as Half-Hearted is dropping the plants and the AoEs. Gonna go down to the Syndra. Zaber's in there a little bit deep. Sauron picking up that kill, while the Kayle picks up the Ezreal. Sauron picks up the Ezreal, and Maokai getting the best of Annie towards the point there, and it looks like they're gonna just command this game, and I don't think there's anything that they can do to come back now. They're just a little too far behind, and the 3 caps and jungle control has been too much.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to be turning that into a 4 cap soon, and they're going to really have to take those points back if they want to stay any longer in this game.
Sauron going 1v2 after Maokai died, picking up the kill onto Syndra. Jayce up top here, though, going to try to take the windmill. Meanwhile, though, Half-Hearted has neutralized the bottom turret, almost taking down Zabers by himself. Half-Hearted now almost has a Rylaze as well, and Talon went up top to clean up where Kayle started, even though he got seen by that the Crazy Spectral Lantern, not the Hextech Sweeper.
And it looks like this is going to be GG, because it doesn't look like they'll be able to take up another point.
Yeah, there's really nothing the blue team can do right now. They're just not close enough. Half-Hearted might go down here to that Leona in a 1v1. A very good Leona play to be able to take that out, but Blueberry coming down to try to get a cap, just meeting up with more teammates there, and that is going to be the end of the game. First game going to Feel the Vibe.
Yep, and I'm thinking this might be a 2-0. We don't know.
Yeah, it's looking like it's going to be pretty close no matter which way it happens. But like I said, I don't think I've ever seen Ezreal and Child Support lose a game 2. So I expect them to win this game. I expect them to change it up, come back, win that game. It's not May. It's Mayo. It's M-A-O. Why? It's Maokai like this. M-A-Y-O.
I thought it was Maokai, like M-O-W.
No, like mayonnaise. Like mayonnaise.
Oh.
No, I pronounce things however I like. Just be glad you're not A12 Mo12 armor.
Oh man, I don't want to talk about that.
A12 Mo12. We'll get in the second game pretty quickly here. Like I said, first we're going to Feel the Vibe. And they could go with the 2-0 here. I'm going to drop a couple of ads down as we get invited into this game, but don't go anywhere for Game 2 of the finals for Dominate Dominion number 44.